All right, guys. I think we're streaming now. Oh, here comes Alex. He's pretending to be Janice.
Hello.
There he is. All right, guys. We're gonna got Big Germ coming on tonight. Eric is the only one in front of the camera currently, so you're introduced first. Say hi, everybody, Eric.
Hi.
Eric, you're super quiet. I can't hear you at all. Failboat. Alex, you got your video camera on?
Yeah. Let me see why it's off.
Wow, we're technically amazing here.
I know. Oh, there we go. Hey.
You working? We see you? Oh, there you go. Oh, look at all of us.
Good. Hey.
There you go.
Perfect.
You're a little quiet, but not bad.
All right.
That's Alex. We got Anthony, DG Weekly. Back up.
Are we already going?
Yeah, we're going, man. We're streaming, dude. There you go. Good job.
We're streaming it? Oh, jeez.
Eric, we still can't hear you. At least you're good looking.
You have your microphone muted. It shows it in your video.
Oh, he muted it in Hangouts?
As he's figuring it out.
All right. We got a million questions for Big Germ. He's our guest tonight. As you noticed, he switched to Innova, you guys.
You did?
He did.
That's kind of big news, right?
I think that's probably the biggest,
I feel like Paige would be if everyone didn't know that last year that she was going to switch.
Yeah, that was kind of
You
a
know?
foregone conclusion. Let's see if we get Big Germ in here. What else is going on in the disc golf world? Oh, we're officially going to be covering a Gentleman's Club Classic. Oh, we got a Big Germ spotting.
You got him in here?
There he
I did
is.
it. I did it.
You did it.
Welcome.
Hey, everyone.
He's a technical
Hey.
wizard.
I see that this is why it's called Hangout now.
Yeah,
There's
it's
bunch
a lot of dudes.
Just a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
Dudes. So,
I feel like
Big
Big Germ's
Germ,
better.
our cast of characters. Anthony does Disc Golf Weekly. Have you seen that on YouTube?
Disc Golf Weekly. It just sounds so simple that it sounds familiar. I don't know if I've seen it or not.
Yeah, if not, you can
Yeah.
pretend you did.
That makes me happy, yeah.
Yeah, he does.
I do mean that as like a compliment. It's a good name. It sounds like it's familiar.
Yeah, it's good.
That works. I'll take
Not
it.
as in like simple as in like you're a dumb bitch. But like
I'll take it.
I'm here. I just had to put on some shoes because my feet were getting cold.
Oh, okay, fair enough. And then, have you heard of Reddit, Jeremy?
Of course, I've heard of Reddit.
Okay, so Eric
I try to
mods
stay away from Reddit, and I try to stay away from disc golf course review.
dude. That you are a smart man, smarter
I,
than all of us.
If your name was in the public's eye in disc golf, you'd stay away from those places too. It's a place where trolls exist, and there's no one got time for that.
Yep, don't feed the trolls under the bridge.
That's fair.
Yeah, but
You have the charisma to run the place, though.
Say what now?
You have the charisma to run the place.
yeah, you kind of do.
Well, that's a newly found thing. You know, like for a long time, disc golf course review is all about how good MJ was, and I was the Antichrist, as according to people who didn't know me personally. They just see my temper in like videos when I was like, I don't know, in my 20s, and
Yeah.
I don't know, I was having a bad day, and all they would see is like a 15-second clip of me being pissed off, and they just think I was just a really bad person. So,
Which couldn't be further from the truth.
oh, or it could be the truth. I don't know. Maybe I've been fooling you this whole time, Ian.
I've filmed you quite a bit, man. I don't. You would have had to put a pretty good act for a really long time.
Yeah.
So Eric mods the disc golf subreddit, and then Alex, who his name is Janice on here because that's his wife's name.
Hi.
He does Central Coast disc golf with me.
So does it go to the person who's talking? Is that how the screen works?
It can.
Or-
I put it on you because you're by far the best looking of all of us.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Well, Ian, you only set yours. For him, it'll just go to whoever.
Oh, will it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can, like, if you click on the picture at the bottom, you can just look at Eric if you want.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Eric. I haven't seen him yet. Oh, hey, Eric. you're yeah. Hi. And then
Ian's the one who's running the stream, so if he's selected.
Janice. Oh, now I see you're saying about Janice.
Yeah.
It's that's your wife's name.
That was
That
his
is my wife.
pre-
Oh wow, you can see everything in my room. I'm like kind of self-conscious about this now. Hold on a second.
Well, everyone has already seen it, so it's not a big deal anymore.
Is this like, are people joining in for this?
I think. All right, is anybody checking
Yeah.
the people watching this right now?
Oh, it's your channel, dude.
Oh,
You're
Specifically
supposed to be
for
the
your
boss.
let me look.
All right. I don't mind to see the poop emoji. All right.
All right. So, Jerem, let's start talking about Innova, man. How'd that happen, and how you feeling about it, dude?
Oh, the feelings are like it's been so overwhelming since I made the announcement official on January 1st. I did not foresee the amount of attention that came with it, with the announcement. I posted my little thing right before Henry and I, who works at Innova and I live with and is one of my best friends for the last 10 years. We drove to this gym to go play some volleyball. And I made the post, and we went to the gym, and we're playing, and like I checked my phone, and I looked down, and there was like 1,000 likes in like less than 2 hours. And all said and done, there was like 30,000 views on it. There was 3,300 likes.
Dude, that's
and
crazy.
200 shares and 500 comments, and like it blew me away. I honestly thought that I had told so many people beforehand that it wasn't going to surprise anyone, and apparently I was very wrong. So just Innova in general, the excitement of what's going on right now, and the fact that I feel like I'm in the place that I need to be it's incredible. There's no other way to put it. There's so many things that are coming because of this move that just propel my life forward in the right direction.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it's so awesome. I'm so excited about it, and for so many different reasons. But yeah, I mean, it honestly is just nothing bad has happened because of it. It's all been just great, good news. So
cool, man. I couldn't believe how popular that Facebook post was, man. I kind of believed it, but I was like, oh, that's the most popular Facebook post I've ever seen.
Blew me away. Absolutely blew my socks off. I was just scrambling for a picture, and we took a couple pictures a couple days before that, and I just picked one. Honestly, it wasn't like something that people kept asking me, like, what's the announcement going to be? And I didn't want to. My intention, of course, I want to bring awareness to Innova. My job as a sponsored player is to promote the company and excitement and all that. And but I didn't want to be pretentious about it. I didn't want my goal wasn't to be like, hey, everyone, look at me. I'm going to Innova. Let's change. I don't know, everyone's life. It wasn't supposed to be like a big crazy like celebration. Well, it is, but it wasn't supposed to be like fireworks or anything like that. It turned into something way more I don't know, exciting than really what I anticipated. Like I said, I spent probably 45 minutes writing what I wanted to write. And then I ended up taking like one of 3 or 4 pictures that we had taken. And then that was it. And then, next thing you know, it's like
Everything blew up.
Everything blew up, man. So it was really
It was
cool.
a really nice post, dude.
Well, thank you. If it's something like that, I don't want to just be like, thank you, Prodigy, I appreciate it. It's really important to me that people understand we left on good terms.
Yeah.
It's Prodigy is in a great place, and it just wasn't a place that I felt as comfortable as I felt like I would be with Innova. And so I had to make that move because of that.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. And I really wanted people to know that I knew what was going to happen. I knew people were going to be like, I'd already known that Zach and Paige were gone, and Kobe was going to go to Dynamic Discs. And I knew that all these changes were happening, and I knew that everyone's going to be like, wow, 4 people at one time left Prodigy. They must be in a really bad spot. So, before, I wanted to go crazy about like how excited I am about Innova, which is just like immense. I wanted to make sure that people also know that like, it's not about Prodigy messing up. It just wasn't right for me anymore.
Yeah. I kind of feel like they'll be okay. I mean, I feel like they had a lot of pros for how big they are, and it feels like they have like a more appropriate level of, I don't know. Does that make sense now?
I think, without you using enough descriptive words to really describe what you were trying to say, I know exactly. No, I think that you're right. Honestly, I felt like if there were certain things that had maybe been improved upon, that Prodigy was going to be my place for life. And earlier in the year, I'd even mentioned to him, I'm like, look, the group of people that are here now are going to be there forever. It's not like we'd already gotten past the point of people leaving, or so I thought. And I was like, let's just focus on this group because this is the core group. You know, we were here from the beginning and we'll be here till the end. And, you know, like it just didn't work out that way. But now I truly do believe that. You know, I think that Kat and Paul are going to be Prodigy for life. You know, Kale has a huge following of Prodigy just from what he's done in Minnesota. Will is, you know, he might as well get Prodigy tattooed to his face. I mean, he is all, and I mean that in a positive way. All he does is Prodigy related. If he's not playing, he's promoting, and he's got so many people from Tennessee involved with Prodigy and a huge network of people. So you're right. I think that where they are right now with the people that are a part of the company, the sponsored players and the staff, I think that they are pretty much in a pretty comfortable spot with those people, and they're going to grow. If you don't know Chris Dickerson now, you will know him. He's an incredible talent, and the word prodigy describes him perfectly. He's going to blow people's socks off when he starts traveling around instead of just playing in the southeast.
I've definitely heard the name. I don't know if I've ever seen him play though.
You know, his game isn't flashy, but that's why he's so good.
Cool.
He can throw as far as he needs to. You know, I'm sure he can throw 500 plus. You know, on a good pull. He can sidearm as far as he needs to, over 350 accurately. He is incredibly accurate with his mid-ranges and fairway drivers, and he makes putts everywhere. The best thing about his game is that he's unflappable. Like, he's just a robot. He does the same thing every single time. And, you know, all those things are great, but then if it doesn't go with a good personality, it's just like, all right, well, it's kind of lost. He's freaking awesome. He's so funny. So he's going to do really well on tour. So cool. I think that, you know, he just got engaged too. So we'll see, you know, if marriage keeps him around or if he'll be able to travel. I know that his fiance supports him in his disc golf ventures. So we'll see how much he gets to actually get out and about.
Right on, man. Cool. Are you familiar with Jordan Castro coming over to Innova too?
Oh, of course.
You know,
absolutely.
Jordan? Cool, man.
I don't know if anyone saw the Raz Round that we did in Nantucket, but it was 3 holes. $1,000 for first place, and all the spectators come with cowbells. They get to choose who they want to go for. It's the top 4 players in the tournament, and the players 5 through 8 caddy for those players. And if people get to choose the cowbell that is associated with your color. My color was green. And so I got everyone chanting, "Let's go green!" And you just try to say whatever you can to mess up the player while they're throwing. If you haven't watched this video, it's pretty silly, and in fact, it's kind of embarrassing for me to watch because I may have been over the top obnoxious. Somebody's comment was I was the Jim Carrey of overacting. But if you want to see me in my element, the Raz Round was it, because I could just do anything ridiculous that I wanted to, say anything I wanted to, and just be loud and have so much fun, and also play disc golf and talk trash at the same time. Nice. It's like awesome.
I saw it posted, but I haven't watched it yet.
But Jordan was in it, and my chant for Jordan on his approach on the first hole was, "No one knows you." And it's so loud because everyone's doing their cowbells and everyone's yelling. So I thought he might not have heard me, and I asked him afterwards. I was like, "Did you hear me chant?" And he was like, "Yeah, I heard that." It was just in the heat of the moment. He's like, "I forgive you," and I was like, "All right."
Solid.
But yeah,
solid.
Yeah. Jordan's a really, really nice guy. He's a good addition, and he's another up and coming talent. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Innova padded what they, you know, an already strong lineup, and they made some good moves, moving Philo up to Team Star.
Yeah.
Moving Jennifer Allen up to Team Star with her world record, and you know, it's a really, really they're doing good stuff. You know, they're really turning it on in terms of making sure that they're at the top of the class in terms of team relations.
Yeah. Cool, man. Have you guys confirmed we're actually streaming? Anybody check that yet?
You are, yeah. There's already almost 250 people here.
Oh, yeah, how about that?
Oh, what's going on, everyone?
What's up, peeps?
Welcome to my.
All right, Jeremy. So what's in the bag, man? What are you throwing? You figured it out yet? You still working on it?
You're trying to get some insider information here.
Maybe.
The in the bag is the most requested thing. I felt like I had maybe 2 requests in the last 4 years with Prodigy for my in the bag, and I may have seen 700 comments since 1 week ago. But yeah, I can pull up the bag. I can show you kind of like what it's like right now. It's kind of a constantly adjusting process right now, just trying to see what works best for me.
Definitely.
But I'm just as interested in the bag itself as I am with what's in the bag. So let me get it.
Awesome, man. Can't wait to see it.
Oh.
I just noticed the poo emoji pillow.
Oh, he's literally
Oh.
All right, so
Oh.
There you go.
announcement. I don't know if I kind of said something about it on Smashbox the other day, but here we are with my future bag sponsor, Pound.
Yes.
And I'm going to be rocking the Octo Haul. And this is not the colorway that I have selected. This was a test bag that Levi sent me.
Uh-huh.
And the first time I saw Pound was when I met up with Nate Sexton last year at the Memorial.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed me this bag, and I was like, what the heck is that? I've never recognized that logo before.
Yeah.
Like, never heard of it. And he was like, just wait till you put it on your back. And I'm like, all right, it's just a bag, you know. I put it on my back, and I was instantly jealous.
Yep.
Instantly jealous. I was like, because, you know, with Prodigy contract, you had to carry a Prodigy bag.
Yep.
And not to knock on Prodigy's bags too much, but I just didn't like it. It wasn't comfortable for my bag. For my back, and I had some rips and stuff like that. And so I don't know. They're working on their bag, and I think they're improving on it. But the one that I had, I wasn't the hugest fan of. And this bag itself, I'm learning a lot right now. So I've got a ton of discs in here. I probably have 30 to 35. Plus, I have the water quiver, which is such a cool thing that you can have a hydro pack in the bag.
Yeah.
It sits up top where the weight should be, so it's not like dragging you down.
Yep.
And you can literally weigh this thing down as much as you want. You put it on your back, and it just, somebody recently said it feels like a hug. I mean, that's exactly the way. It's so comfortable. It doesn't feel like there's any weight.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm so excited about it is because I truly 100% honestly believe it is the best disc golf bag ever made.
Yep.
Like, I haven't actually use the Octothorpe because, like I said, you know, I just tried Nate's on, which is the Octo. This is the Octo Haul, which is the bigger, badder one for me. At least. You know, I like to carry a lot of stuff with me, and if I want to shed like a hoodie, there's plenty of space for that. You know, and then you can still carry 30 discs and a hoodie, which is just incredible. So if you like to carry a lot of stuff with you, and you know you're tired of your back getting sore by the end of tournaments, it's a no-brainer for me. But yeah, let's go ahead and I'll show you some of the cool things I've got in here that I'm working on. I guess we'll start with putters because this is the biggest confusion I have. I was pretty certain I was going to go with these Pro P2s, and I very well may. But I'm also conflicted because I love the flight and feel of the McPros. They're very similar, same plastic, Pro plastic. I'll definitely go with one of these two. But
they're
just
kind of the same disc, right? Like they're kind of the same disc.
they're pretty much really similar. I feel like the P2 might be a bit more overstable, and it has a slightly blunter nose. So I don't know if that means the AVR will travel further. I'm really just trying to get the feel. I mean, it's so new for me. Even being a couple months in, it's going to take a lot of practice to decide that's the one for sure.
Yeah.
So those are what I'm going with for putting, but I'm also throwing the C-Line P2. I really like a champion line. Basically just a high durability, overstable putter. I've always had, I had the Flex, not the Flex, the Crystal Challengers back in the day when I was with Discraft.
Yeah.
And I had a 400 PA1, which was one of my favorite discs when I was with Prodigy. And I think that's what this will be over time. It's just a nice overstable disc that I can throw in the woods and not worry about breaking it in half if I hit a tree. Yeah. So, and the other thing, which at first when this was made, I was kind of like, why did you guys do this? Like, a company who's already done this, and it looks like you're kind of copying it, and it kind of looks like a toy. But golly, the Nova is such a good disc.
It's great, man.
And I'm so happy they made it, because this is like, it's so good on angles. It's just the most angle conducive putter I've ever thrown. Like, you put it on an angle, and it holds an ante without turning over into a roller. It holds a hyzer without fading out too hard. It's such a good disc. Like, so that's it for putters in my bag. I was really going to do this in the bag more officially when I got my bag. I can't believe this happened. You tricked me. And you called me. I can't say that you didn't tell me this was going to happen. But this is the most mojo in the bag for me. This is my Baby Rock. See if we can get like a little. You can see the stamp there.
Oh yeah.
The original logo that I used to write on discs, the JK logo, but then I updated it with a stamp too. This disc I got with my merch bucks from my very first PDJ tournament. Like, when I found out that I actually cashed, I was like, oh, that's cool. And then they showed me like what you could get, and I was like, can I get that rock? Like, there was no production line star or champion rocks. It was always USDGC. And so, like, to get a premium plastic rock was like a huge deal for me at that time. And this became like my everything mid-range. And when I got sponsored by Discraft, I was actually, when I was watching the USDGC, I was on hole 5 watching Ken Climo at the 2007 USDGC. And I was probably doing this with this disc. And I was wearing an Innova hat and an Innova shirt, and Kirk Yo asked me if I wanted to be sponsored by Discraft, and I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. But I knew I was going to miss this disc, and I put it back in the bag as soon as I made that decision. And I went to a course, and I threw it sidearm, and it just went so straight, and I was like, oh, yes. So it's back in the bag now.
That's really cool, man. I didn't know you had a Innova disc that old. They're coming back.
Yeah, I mean, it was March 2007 was my first tournament, so I guess it was the previous year's USDGC fundraiser. Here are 2 Mako 3s, one champion and one star one, and I'm trying to use these as my straight woods sidearm, backhand, whatever.
So is that like your M4 replacement?
Yeah, I'm trying to learn it. And the Mako 3 has both been amazing, and like I'm still learning it too. Like, a lot of times I'm like, oh wow, I didn't expect it to do that. So when I throw it well, I'm like, yes, that is it. That's the replacement. And then a couple times I didn't feel like I did anything wrong, and it just did something different, and maybe I just haven't learned it yet. So I'm still working on that. But what might end up being my long-term M4 replacement, and actually feels a lot more similar to the M4, is this MD2, which I got at the 2010 USDGC. And I remember Ken Climo going crazy about this run. And this is considerably more overstable than my beat-up M4s, but that's kind of how I liked my M4s at first. I liked them really overstable, and the one that was in my bag for all 4 years was this color, felt like this, and started off overstable. And so over time, it became my understable. So I think that this might be like a disc that I use for many years to come. I have one backup for it, so if anybody has more of these, let me know, because I'm super interested in getting more of them, just so I can have backups over time. And this is an MD3, which I keep hearing how great the disc is, and I'm sure it is. I just haven't, for the shots that I've needed, I just haven't really tested it out too much. But Dana Vici sent me this, as well as a couple other discs, and he's just buddy looking out for me and hooked me up with some good plastics. So, it feels great. And the times I have thrown it, I like it. I'm trying to find like that definition. Like, if I do have the champ or the star rock in the bag, do I also need MD3 / whatever else? But for right now, it's in there. And then I also have a Metal Flake super flat top champ gator, which I just got this from Lance Brown, who hooked me up. And the first round was with it today, and it was overstable.
Cool.
I don't really know if that's going to be a mainstay in my bag. I'm looking for like a kind of like a zone-ish disc, and I think I have a couple of hogs on their way to me. Some of the lizard hogs.
New one, right?
Yeah, and it's a low profile, flat, overstable putt and approach. So it sounds perfect. So
Wow.
I haven't felt the disc. I haven't seen it in person yet, so I have no idea if it's the one. But I'm excited to have that come in. I can't. You're getting this exclusive.
Let's
All right. This is the rest of the stuff. Okay, we'll go quick.
Okay.
Star Sidewinder. Way more overstable than I thought it was going to be. I got in the bag to use for rollers, but it's pretty overstable at this point. So I don't know if it's going to be like my really overstable roller.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is what Nate's been rolling for a long time.
Yeah, it is.
So I may end up using it for like woodsy flick shots until it gets a little bit flippier. But I'm excited to try this thing out.
What's
it's
the weight
really
on that thing?
It's max weight, 175.
Okay.
And it's I found it in a box at factory that had a bunch of new ones, and it has a new stamp on it, but it says SSW, which according to Henry and a couple other people at Innova means it's an old run.
Huh. Okay.
Which means nothing to me. So this right here was recommended by Alex Geisinger,
Yeah.
who said I'd really like this for straight flicks, and I'm using it for like turnover backhands too. The Orion LS.
Huh.
And it feels really good in hand. It's a nice Star plastic blend, and I don't know much about it yet, but it seems to be a nice slow fading turn. Like it's not something that's just going to roll over, but it has a nice steady glide. So a nice fade to it. This is my 3 for Dale. You got to have a 3 for Dale in your bag. If you respect yourself, get a hold of Mitch Dickens and have him die you a 3 for Dale. Got this from Phil Lawrence, my buddy from North Carolina, and it's just a flat top glow Firebird.
Nice.
And obviously, need this for any type of Firebird shot that's overstable, thumbers, flick rollers, you name it. SDS I got from a buddy.
Ooh.
Very, very much appreciated.
Nice.
He said it was very, very overstable. He said I won't be able to turn it over, and that wasn't true. But but it is very good. I mean, everyone's felt an SDS. It's just the best feeling driver in hand. There's that pop top where my speaker is, but
Oh yeah.
it's a little bit of pop top, and it's just that plastic. They nailed it when they made this run of drivers. They pretty much made the best driver ever. And so this is, I've thrown like 2 shots with it today, and so it was my first round with it. So I'm still learning it. I'm learning everything.
How many lines are on the stamp there?
How many lines?
It looked like a 2-line.
Two. You tell me.
No, dude, that's old. That's older.
There's a signature on it, yeah.
Yeah, it's pre-flight numbers. It's pre.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's an old. Yeah, it's a. I don't know. I mean, I feel like that would. It's probably pretty valuable. I guess. I don't know. It's got ink though, so sorry guys. Probably 6 out of 10.
Come on.
There goes the value.
Away.
Pro Boss.
Oh.
Yes.
What?
Really?
What?
Y'all don't even know about this.
I don't. Tell me.
Pro
You
Boss.
had this with forehands. What? You saw this coming.
Pro Plastic and DX Plastic is pretty well known amongst disc golf scholars as being the fastest plastic.
Mhm.
And so I love this. If I want to open up little risk, all reward kind of like just go big or go home kind of shots, this might be my maximum distance. It could be the start of shore too, but I really like this for just like letting loose. My favorite distance disc when I was with Discraft was the X-Nuke, and it's actually the disc that I won World's Distance and a USDGC distance in the same year in 2012.
Damn.
And Prodigy never really had a plastic like that, but Pro and X Plastic are super similar. And I remember when I was throwing the X-Nuke, David Wiggins had a Pro Boss, and I was like, it has the same feel. So that was something that was like a no-brainer for me when I knew that. That I wanted the big disc. I went to Henry and I was like, you got some good Pro Bosses, and he had like a stack of nice runs. So
Dope.
I don't know if they all feel this nice, but I can tell you right now, I know you can't feel this, but this is a good feeling distance driver. This one is,
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
yeah, this is some mojo right here. I gave Nate a hard time. Actually, when I decided that I was gonna join the team, I was with Nate in Asheville when he was down there, and we I guess he's still there, but we were played a cross state doubles together, and we got to talk a lot about Innova and the team relations and all that. And I saw his collection of them, and I was like, I gotta have one. And he was like, nope. So, he recently he went up to the Northwest for the holidays.
Yeah.
And he dropped his dog off at the house that I'm living at. And Henry and Elise agreed to look after Joby. And so I was here, and I'd play fetch with Joby, and I love his dog. And, I kind of was joking around and gave him an ultimatum that if he wanted his dog to be here, licking everything, he had to bring me a couple Firebirds. So he brought me this one and a season one.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool. Star Thunderbird.
Ooh.
Got to have a Star Thunderbird in the bag. Got to have a Champion Thunderbird in the bag. Love this disc. Really good for flicks. And there may be some other Thunderbirds in my bag shortly, but not right now. Didn't say anything. This is a super sweet old Star Destroyer that has Will Schuster's name on it. It was owned by Ulibarri. And yeah, I gave this to Dustin Keegan when after I won USDGC, before I really thought about switching teams or anything like that. And he was like, this is the only really, really sweet plastic that you have in your Innova collection that I really want. And I was like, yeah, you can have it. Actually, you know what? He didn't even ask for it. I was in such a good mood. I was like, hey, Dustin, I have this sweet Destroyer. Do you want it? He was like, yeah, it feels great. Yeah, sure, I guess. Like, you could get money for this online. I'm like, yeah. So anyways, I gave it to him, and then I made my decision a couple weeks later, and I called him, and I was kind of like a dog with his tail between his legs, and I was like, Dustin, can And he's a great guy. He understood, and he's like, yeah, of course. As a matter of fact, this was in the Lost and Found at Innova, and I knew that it was down there, and this was one of the his signature or tour series last year.
Yeah.
And I told him I had that, and I was like, I'll send it to you, like, no worries. And he's like, no, keep that one too. So awesome, nice. Dude.
What a guy.
Yeah, he really is. He's a stand-up character.
Yeah.
The cool thing about this one, though, is that when I got it back, I looked in the light, and you're not going to be able to see it because I can hardly see it here. But it has Phil Lawrence's name, the same guy that gave me the Firebird. And it also has Josh Friend and Cynthia Friend for their wedding. And I didn't realize this was a wedding gift of my friends in North Carolina, but it went to Will Schuster and Ulibarri afterwards. So, like, this thing has been owned by so many people that,
yeah.
And I almost left it on the course today. I had to drive back at night, and thank God it was. This one right here is so sweet. Very overstable, great run. Anyways, I know that I said we fly through them, but obviously that's not the case. Starline PD2 or S-Line PD2.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to figure out if this is going to stay in my bag or not. I love the disc. But I have overstable Destroyers, so I'm trying to figure out if I need both of them.
Okay.
But as for right now, I think that it might stand back just for like when I start playing out in Vegas and in Memorial where I need something a little bit more overstable.
Mm-hmm.
This might really earn its stripes.
Cool.
The surprising disc in my bag, I feel like for most people, is the Champ Colossus.
What?
At least for North Carolina, when I have a little bit more tunnels to throw through, this thing is certainly got a spot in my bag because I can keep it. I don't have to throw full power, and it freaking zips. I mean, it is a fast flying disc, and it's understable, but it's not. It doesn't like cut out on you.
Okay.
So it's really good for long tunnel shots. And I actually I threw a good Destroyer, a nice S-Line, got a really good flight on it, and I threw the Colossus, and the Colossus was like 15 feet further. So, if you put a good line on it, it's hauling.
Cool.
I think it's actually a 14 speed where Destroyer is a 13 speed. So
Destroyers are 12.
yeah, Destroyer's 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Well, goodness, that makes more sense then.
Yeah.
This was another disc that I have been trying to replace since I got sponsored by Discraft. I mean, Discraft didn't even have. This is a Star Wraith, and I love these things for so many different kinds of shots. But like, it's essentially the disc. This and the Champion Orcs were the two discs that learned how to throw sidearm and how to use drivers. Those two favorite discs. Yeah, you got it. You got it.
I'm so happy you said Orcs. I was gonna ask you.
He hasn't been this happy since you said you love the MD3.
That's cool, man. I can leave right now if you guys want. I'm happy. That's all I wanted out of this episode.
Yes. All right. Well, I hate the Orc now, just for the record. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Anthony buys all their old.
I think the Orc is great, but like since I have the Star Wraith in my bag, like I honestly, it's such a good feeling disc. It's so comfortable for my sidearm. It's just like a perfect flight for those shots that are a little bit more controlled than a destroyer. Yeah. I mean, it's great for low lines. It's great for airing it out. It's just it's a minimum effort, long distance disc.
Yep.
These two are my favorite fairway drivers right now.
FD?
Yes. The second run FDs. Super
Best disc ever made.
I got this one from Brian Schweberger. Actually, I think I got this one from Brian Schweberger about 3 weeks ago, and then I went up for New Year's and hung out with him, and he gave me 3 more blue ones. And I was just like, seriously, dude, you're the man.
Wow. You know how many people hate you right now just for saying that?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of friends, man, so suck it. This is a little bit less stable than those, than the second runs, and first off, I like artwork. I know that Discmania and Innova, they're trying to go with a more professional image, make it look like it's sporting equipment and not just toys.
Yeah.
But I think this is cool. I like that they have the professional name with the FD, the fairway driver, and they have the flight numbers. But then they also have the character. You know, they have a nickname, and so I think this is pretty cool that they do that. And so I hope they continue to do that. But either way. The disc is a little bit domier, and it holds a little bit longer anhyzer line. I was actually throwing much better shots with this one today than I was with my second run, which kind of pissed me off because I like the feel of that one maybe a little bit better. But it was kind of cold, and this is a little bit gummier, so maybe that's why it was working out better. But either way, I think that they both serve a different purpose, but they're both really comfortable in my flick grip. So that's like the number one thing for me is that it's very streamlined. It's easy to release, and it does exactly what you want it to do.
Cool.
Yeah, the second runs get a little stiff in the cold.
Yeah. I think, I didn't really factor. I kind of assumed that's probably why it wasn't coming out right. But like, I've thrown it in a little bit warmer temperature, and it was just like a dream. So I'm sure that will be fine over time. Champion Road Order, just got to have one in the bag for the long rollers. I haven't really tried it for like tricky shots in the woods yet, but it's awesome. And then this is the last disc in there, unless there's something else hidden. This is a Team Trim Star Whippet X that I got also from Schwebby. He used it for thumbers for a long time. He beat it up, and it's too flippy for his thumbers, which means it's perfect for like my short checkup approach shots. It's pretty gummy, but the rim is still rigid, so like I'm not worried about the disc like slipping out of my grip. And it reminds me a lot of my old Flex drones that I loved. And until that hog comes in, this is actually like my short range checkup approach disc.
Okay.
So this is really controllable, but also overstable, like very overstable at the end of its flight. So it's a really, really good utility disc in my bag right now.
He says a Whippet X? Is that what?
Yeah, Star Whippet X, yeah.
Very cool.
Yep. And so I mean, other than that, like what's in the bag is just I think one of the cool things, I'll just show you this last thing. So these pockets are obviously they're collapsible, like the Golf Mahal bag was.
Yeah.
From Mystery Ranch. But he's got these cool inserts that go in so that you can, if you want to have a water bottle holder, you put this insert in, or you can take it out and have more storage for more discs.
Nice.
So this is gonna be a cool thing that comes with, you get one of these in your Octo Haul, And so you put it in there and it adds a little bit more rigidity. And like I said, it's a divider. So you can put, this is a 40-ounce Hydro Flask. And I got my little utility pouch, which I put my phone in. And then, you know, whatever bags and you stuff whatever else you need into it. I mean, if there's anything you need to take with you during a disc golf round and you can't fit into this bag, then you're bringing like children with you. I don't know what you're doing, but you can fit everything you can possibly dream of in this bag.
Yeah, I actually rock. Eric and I both have Octothorpes, and
I got the maple one.
yeah, he has the maple one. They sponsor Central Coast Disc Golf too as well, so we're big fans.
When Levi and I set what my colorway for the bag, we were both like, we went through a couple different options and we're like, yeah, that sounds good. Like, yeah, I want that. And then we eventually got to the final version. We were like, yes. Like, we were both simultaneously just so excited about it, which is like my favorite thing about Levi. When I reached out to him and I said, you know, I want to carry the best bag in disc golf. Can we make that happen? He was like, it would be an honor. Like, he was more excited about it than I was, which I didn't think was possible because I was so set on being a part of his brand and his image and being an ambassador for that brand that I was just super excited. And so when he was excited about it, it was just like, it was so cool. So we have a really good connection.
He's a great dude, man. He did second cam for me one year at Rocky Mountain Championships. Just
not surprised, man.
He came out
awesome.
and like first day he was wearing like a red sweatshirt. The second day he came out in all green, and we didn't even see him the entire day. He was just like camoed into the woods. It was awesome.
Oh man,
it was like a floating beard.
Yep.
Yeah.
He is 90% beard, and the rest of it is just an awesome, fun personality.
Oh, I love that guy, man. He's fantastic.
He knows a lot about making bags.
Doesn't he,
put
man?
a bag on your back, he's just like, that just makes sense. Like, yeah, that's the way it should be done.
Yeah, I have 2 hoodies in my Octothorpe right now, and there's plenty of room for all kinds of other stuff too.
Yeah, imagine if the bag was even bigger.
Yeah,
There's
I
so
know,
much
right?
more
I can't even.
Just like anything you want. Nunchucks. Like, think about it. Leftover pizza.
Finally, a nunchuck pocket.
Yes, finally!
I've been waiting for that.
And I think that this is like, I think that some other bag company may do this by now, but with the final version of the Octohaul, there's going to be a pencil slot, maybe a couple of them, and there's going to be a marker slot. So finally, your markers don't fall out of your bag. Who has ever had that issue before where you put your Sharpie in your bag and the next thing you look down, the pocket's not enough so it falls out? I mean, it's just like, I don't know. That's a pretty small detail to get excited about, but I feel like it's like, come on.
That's the level of detail that you demand in a bag.
Yes, it is.
Nice.
So,
all right, Tony, you got any questions for Germ from the Reddit
I have a
folk?
question before we get too far away from like discs and bag stuff.
Okay.
Did I hear you wrong, or do you not carry a single T-bird?
Or rock
Okay.
three.
Don't carry Rock 3. Not yet. I have a couple, and I have a box in my trunk that is all like things I'm kind of intermingling with right now. So the T-Bird actually was in my bag before I started this last round, but I didn't need it on that course. The Thunderbird was going to be more effective because it was longer shots, but the same kind of flight. But I do have a KJ T-Bird that's going in and out of the bag. But I want to focus on the Thunderbird because I feel like it's a really, really awesome disc, and I think it's one of the best discs that Innova has made in the last couple of years. And you know, I really want to become familiar with that disc. So
Cool.
Wink.
yeah, but the Rock 3 doesn't quite flick as well as I'd like to. I'm not a huge fan of flicking discs with beads on them.
Okay.
Right.
So it would purely be for backhands, but I feel like it's one of those things that I already have a disc that kind of fits into that slot.
Mm-hmm.
It's close enough that I don't need both of them in the bag, you know?
Cool.
So do you carry certain discs, like 4 sidearm and 4 backhand, or do you kind of throw all your discs or most of them both styles?
I try not to, but inevitably over time it always happens. You know, I mean, I'm thinking back to like my Prodigy bag. I certainly had discs that were exclusively backhand and exclusively sidearm. But actually, this is something I learned from Nate Sexton back in 2010 when we did a clinic. He's very eloquent, as you guys know, and I can learn a lot from him just because he can break things down in a really understandable way.
Mm-hmm.
And we were doing a clinic before the Minnesota Majestic, and somebody asked a similar question, and he said, don't think of a disc as sidearm discs or backhand discs. Basically, a disc is made up of a speed and a stability, and that's really all you need to focus on. But I think it goes a little bit further than that, to be honest, because there is a feel factor that is really important. Like speed and stability of a putter is great, but for flicking them, it doesn't feel right because it's a little bit too deep. So the third thing that I would throw in there is some discs are way better for flicking just because of the way it comes out of your grip. So some discs, like I said, just fit better for my forehand. Like when I put the Wraith in my hand, that disc is going to be in my bag probably exclusively for sidearm. I can get away with throwing a Thunderbird or a Destroyer for any shot that I would need for the Wraith for backhand. But for like check-up sidearm shots or for like 350 to 370, need a little bit of glide, but still like good stability at the end. The Wraith, I think, fits better for that. So the Thunderbird, for instance, that will be a backhand and forehand combo disc. But yeah, no, I certainly over time, I find like a purpose for this. Like this clearly works really well for my forehand, or this clearly works really well for like rollers, backhand rollers, air shots, hyzers, whatever. So, I try to stay away from that, but at the same time, it comes that way over time. I feel like it just kind of materializes.
You just get comfortable with them, certain throws and different.
Yeah, I mean that's what it comes down to. I mean, most discs, you can choose most discs within a certain like range, and they're all going to fly well for that shot if you just throw it well. What it comes down to is how comfortable are you with that shot, and so that's the number one thing is confidence going into a throw. And if you feel like you're confident with this because you know it from all your practice over and over again, and from what you've done because you've trusted this in the past and it worked out for you, then that's the number one thing.
Mm-hmm. So did you used to be, like when you first started, you used to be exclusively sidearm, right?
Yeah, as exclusive as you can get away with. My Frisbee roots go back to playing a lot of catch with Ultimate discs. And when I was a child, growing up, I always would play catch with either Frisbees or baseball or football or whatever. And I would always, it would be more over to the side than over the top just because I was just flicking things. And that even goes back even further to when I was a really little kid. We had a pond in front of my house, and I would skip stones all the time. And when I look back now, I'm looking at my form when I skipped rocks. I'm like, that's the same exact thing I do now. It's crazy. Like I was developing those muscles and that timing and that feel for angles and all that. You learn what kind of rocks are going to turn when you flick them and how fast of a rate. So I was very comfortable doing this, and this was completely foreign to me. I never played baseball, so I never batted. I never played tennis or any other sport where backhand was a motion that you did. So even in table tennis, I was pretty much all forehand. But over time, you realize that, you can't be so one-dimensional. And I had a guy early on when I very first started playing disc golf in 2006 say, like, you'll never be able to throw sidearm as far as you can backhand. And I thought the guy was crazy.
Well,
I can flick so far, and I was like, backhand, it goes backwards or sideways. Like, I have no control. And when I finally learned how to control the backhand, like, I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. Right all along. But even, I've put in so many hours to try to become comfortable, and I'm getting to a point now where I don't think that I'm second-guessing myself nearly as much as I have been for most of my career. I mean, the last couple of seasons, I'd say I feel that way. But it's just taken, just tons of practice to get to a point where I feel like at any given time I can go with this shot or that shot. That being said, I still, if I have a straight shot, no wind, no elevation or slope or anything else to worry about, I'm going sidearm if I can reach it. It's just still my most comfortable, most accurate, and most reliable shot. So,
do you still consider yourself like predominantly a sidearm thrower, or do you just go back and forth? just whatever
It
the shot
depends on the
calls.
courses.
Yeah.
I wouldn't ever play all 18 holes at a course backhand. No, I would never do it. I have played several tournaments where I didn't throw one backhand. So, and it's still that way. I mean, if I go to a very short wooded course, I would be certainly predominantly sidearm. But this year at the USDGC, I was, on a course that most people have seen on video, and there's a variety of shots. I was probably 50-50. And I love that. I want to play a course that challenges all different parts of the game. I don't want to just play 18 holes in the woods, and I don't want to play 18 holes in the open. If you can give me woods, if you can give me open, if you can give me elevation, water, you name it, wind, rain, I love those challenges. My best rounds are rounds where everything is thrown in at you, and you've got to figure it out, and you have to be smart and have a variety of different shots to throw, thumbers, rollers, all that kind of stuff. If I can use all those tools, I feel like I have a great, because I love being creative, I love using different types of shots to get from point A to point B. And, but, for now, still, yes, predominantly sidearm, but like I said, it just depends on the course. If it's a long bomber course, there's no way I can't keep up sidearm. I wouldn't want to anyways, like shots over 400 feet, I can throw a 450-foot sidearm if I really reach back and I rip it, but I don't know if I'm going to turn it over. And, it's just, that's exerting so much effort.
Yeah.
Backhand 450 really doesn't take much effort for me. So, that's the shot to go with,
They talk about
Do you feel like,
what's up? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Alex.
Are you coming back to Beaver State Fling this year?
I hope so. The obviously the scheduling conflict with Beaver State is that Worlds is 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
And it goes across the country. And I hated missing it this year. It's the first time I've missed it since I started going to it. But it's just it's a big financial challenge, or a lot of miles on your car.
Yeah.
And either way, it's I've never ended up making more money than I've spent going to Beaver State. So, seeing that this is my business, this is my livelihood, it doesn't make much financial sense other than like treating it almost like a vacation week. For whatever reason, Milo has my freaking number. It beats my butt, and I want to get revenge. I plan on getting revenge, and I will, if not win, I will get top 5 of that tournament someday.
Nice.
It fits into my style of play.
Yeah,
I just,
good.
for whatever reason, it just defeats me. I will be on the road this year, and my goal is to be at all the big events. And obviously, Beaver State Fling is a premium event, and it is one where the atmosphere and the people and the courses are all top notch. So I want to be there, and I will do my best to do it, to make it. But it's not just on me. I'm going to be traveling with 2 other guys this year, Austin Turner and Cody Bradshaw, and we'll discuss it at that time. We'll figure out when Beaver State opens up, I'll register for it regardless. And then if it doesn't make sense, we'll have to make changes then. But
cool. Yeah. You guys RVing it or carring or what?
No, I'm super duper pumped. I got a 2011 Toyota Venza. Late August, early September. In the 4.5 months I've had it, I've put almost 13,000 miles on it.
Damn.
So I've been traveling everywhere in it, and
it's a lot of driving.
Yeah, it is. But for the first time in my life, I've had a car that's worth driving. So it's enough space for the 3 of us. If I get a camper shell up top.
Cool.
So we're gonna try that out, and hopefully it's not too cramped. But I mean, it's like a crossover minivan SUV kind of style. Yeah. It looks like the sexiest soccer mom car you've ever seen. But it's got it's got leather seats and the sunroof, moonroof, and heated seats and the rear view cam, and it's just like, I don't know, maybe people are used to that kind of stuff. For me, I'm coming from a car that I was like, this has got a CD player. Like, so I mean, for me, this is like, I'm living in luxury with that thing. So I just want to be in the car all day long. So yeah, we're gonna be driving this year in my car.
Cool, man. So you talked about USDGC. Talk about that a little bit. How awesome and weird was that, man?
Yeah, I think weird is just as good of a word as awesome. Like, incredibly awesome, obviously, but it was just like weird. Like I've never experienced anything like that, and no one has, I don't think. Not in a major.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, man. It was I had never been in a position at a major championship where I felt like I was certainly going to win. And going into the third round, at that time I was in second place, which was foreign to me. And I was 4 strokes back of Eagle. And I was over there at the practice green, and I was by myself. Everyone else had already gone up to hole 1, was waiting for their tee times, and I just had this moment. My caddy wasn't around. There was no one taking any pictures. Everyone was out on the course and getting ready to go play, or was already on the course. And so I was there by myself, and I had this moment. And I knew. I don't know why. There's no way to really truly describe this to you guys, because I had never had a feeling like this at a level like this. I knew I was going to win. I don't know why, but I saw myself winning that tournament. I certainly did not foresee the last round being canceled. In my head, I was picturing Sunday playing a hole 18 with a 4-stroke buffer, and then playing safe, and taking a 6-7 to win by 1 or 2 or whatever I needed to do. But I saw myself winning the event, and I truly believed it. And like I've said to myself before every freaking event that I've ever played, yeah, I'm gonna win this. Like you gotta psych yourself up.
Yeah.
You go into it, you're not gonna succeed. But do you really truly believe it? That's the difference.
Yeah.
At this point, I was like, I haven't even put my best out there yet. Like they've only seen me like doing pretty good, but not great yet.
Yeah.
And I felt like I'm going to blow the socks off this tournament. Like from here on out, the first half has got me in second place. The second half, wait till you see that one. And in a way, I was actually kind of disappointed because Spin TV's coverage, I was on the lead card after the first round, and they talked about Patrick Brown, they talked about Eagle extensively, and they talked about Ricky extensively. My name was not mentioned on the show until they said, and Jeremy Koling's on the lead card too, at the very end of the show. And I don't even think they actually said my name. They just showed a graphic that showed Jeremy Koling 4th place. And I was like, all right, well, maybe I'll have to give him a reason to talk about me tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so I shot a 59 with Eagle, which was the hot round, the second round. And again, I mean, Eagle, we both shot the same round, but Eagle had that shot on 2, that roller that was crazy. And then he had that shot on 18, which was just the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like,
That's what Eagle does, though.
It's 30 minutes from my house. You have to understand. Winthrop is 30 minutes from my house, where I've always lived since I played disc golf. I've been playing that course for years, and that is the silliest shot I've ever seen. And that was on the lead card with the lead on hole 18, like on the hole that they actually like tightened up the ropes. I'm like,
with a 10-speed disc.
Yeah, what are you doing? Like that's stupid. So it was both. It was, so they focused on Eagle, and I was fine. He deserved that. He shot hot round 2 rounds in a row. He's the young kid, and Spin TV is run by Discmania and Innova, and he's the poster child. He's the golden boy, and of course, I would focus on that. I wasn't really offended by it, but at the same time, I was like, again, hey, I shot in the 50s too. Like this course is really hard. Like, I need a little recognition here, and I was like, all right, well, maybe third round. And so I started that round off with a lot of confidence because, like I said, I had that vision. And going back to the round before, Eagle's game plan, like, he is a very, very aggressive player. I mean, you see it in the way he putts. You see in the way that he throws. You see the way that he drives. All parts of his game, he is attack, 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 attack. Now, when that's on, you see back-to-back Eagles out in Idaho, like super duper long shots, and like he's just incredibly impressive. So much power and so much control. But at the same time, we're talking USDGC. We're talking hills. We're talking OB. We're talking, stroke and distance. And I actually gained a lot of confidence seeing that shot on 18 from the second round, because I was thinking to myself, if he keeps doing this, like, you can't do it in 4 rounds. You just can't. I mean, if you can, hats off, and you just did one of the most impressive things I've ever seen, because that is so aggressive out there that no one has ever ever played that way and come out on top.
Yeah.
You know, Nico was pretty aggressive in 09 when he won, but still there wasn't like that maximum distance on every kind of shot type of mentality. There's course management that you have to factor in out there. And so honestly, when I saw him do that, I was both impressed, but also like, you know, I'm not that worried that he's going to be able to do that for 4 straight rounds. And he threw a lot of great shots in the 3rd round, but I think you see there's a little bit of tentativeness that came into his game the first time one of those shots didn't go well. And then obviously, you know, unfortunately he had the meltdown on 888. Not that I saw that coming, but, you know, it wasn't that unpredictable considering how diabolical that hole can be. Yeah. And if your game plan isn't locked down on that hole, you know, double digits happens.
Fair warning, Eagle's watching right now.
Say it again, Ian?
All of that.
Eagle's watching right now.
Yeah. Hi, Eagle. Congratulations.
He's a
You know what? Oh, one second.
He's grabbing the emoji.
Where is it? If you're losing viewers, I'm sorry.
No, not at all. What up, Eagle?
We have
Thanks for watching,
far
buddy.
more than I think we've ever had.
Oh, it's in here somewhere. He hooked me up. That's all
Eagle,
I'll
we
say.
love you. Don't go away, man.
This is how you can tell Jerm has never seen the show. He thinks this is what's going to lose us viewers.
Why is it gone forever? I think it may be gone forever.
Uh-huh.
Oh well. Well, he did send me a package of discs.
And you lost it, huh? Yeah, that'll win him over.
Oh, really?
I haven't opened it yet, but it's. He wrote his name as Igor McManahan, so I love it. I asked him to send me some used P2s because I like the feel of used putters, and I haven't opened it up yet. So, but yeah. So, anyways, USDGC was crazy.
So how'd you find out you won, man? Like where were you when you found out and stuff?
Right here.
Really?
I was in my room, and Alex Geisinger was staying at the house with us, and you know, obviously looking out this window here and seeing the rain and seeing the wind and like all the branches in the yard that are coming down off the trees, and just like, wow, this is crazy. Like, you know, somebody had mentioned that, I think Nate Doss had mentioned that there might not be a 4th round. And I was thinking to myself, that's silly. That's definitely not happening.
Yeah.
But, you know, I went home and watched a little bit of the weather, but I wasn't fixated on that because I knew if I was more focused on that, then I wasn't going to be ready for the last round. So basically, that morning was weird. Like the first news came in, probably around like 9 o'clock or so that the first round had been pushed back an hour. And that was the first bit that I got. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. Better not go back to 2 hours, because if they push it back 2 hours, we're not going to finish in the daylight. Yeah. Especially with the low light with the conditions.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, okay, all right, well, that's fine. Just push it back another hour, get to chill and, you know, play games on my phone or whatever else to just take my mind off of, you know, the inevitably ridiculous pressure that was about to be on my shoulders. Then I got another call or text message or something saying it had been pushed back 2 hours. And I was thinking to myself, no, it's not. It's not pushed back 2 hours. If it's pushed back 2 hours, then it's postponed until Sunday.
Yeah.
That's all I was thinking to myself, because, you know, I wasn't upset, but I was like, I was concerned that it just wasn't going to work. Even with the shortened round, I know that they had already made the course one hole shorter. You know, we lost hole 17.
Yeah.
And they changed other parts of the course to take it a little bit further away from the water. But I was like, man, still, I don't know if that's going to be possible. But again, I guess that's what I'll prepare for. So more bedtime, more, maybe I was watching stuff on my computer here. I don't know what I was doing, but I was just basically just trying to stay out of my own head. And then the call came that it was postponed till Sunday. And that was when madness broke loose. Like, I heard guys in the other room just shout some profanity or something. You kidding me? I got to fight tomorrow. I got to work on Monday. Like, and like, he was pissed. And like, I was like, wait a second. That is crazy. Like, the logistics of that.
Yeah.
They don't work.
No.
I mean, one of the things that, like, I was thinking in my head, yeah, postpone is the only way that really makes sense. It's the only way to be safe. But if you do that, then obviously you have all of the logistic issues that works with hotels. First thing that came to mind was flights. People have flights booked on Sunday. Of course, everyone does. And I'm always surprised. I always think that people might want to hang out on Sunday, because Rock Hill, South Carolina's got so much going on. But I figured that would be a cool, fun day for people to hang out. Nope, people want to go home on Sunday. Yeah. And I guess that's why they do the event the way that they do it, so people can fly home Sunday and then go back to work on Monday.
For sure.
But we're talking a premier event here. So, like, I feel like there should be a little bit more, I don't know, commitment to the event and, like, make it a weekend event just in case something like this happens. Not that anyone did anything wrong by booking their flight Sunday, but in the future, I think that we're going to learn from this.
Mm-hmm.
So, the international flights, you don't just like go to the airport and be like, hey, I got a tournament that's going another day, so I got to book my flight for the next day. It doesn't work that way. And on top of that, you have hotels. Hotels are booked. People are coming in off the coast to avoid the hurricane that was causing our cancellation.
Oh, yeah, huh?
So the hotels weren't even available. Like, people weren't going to have a place to stay. So that was when, like, there was so much Facebook chat in just a matter of like an hour and a half or so. That whole time, so much discussion was going on and people were furious. And I eventually got a text message from Marty Gregoire from the PDGA.
Uh-huh.
And he said, congrats. And I got butterflies. I just got butterflies right now thinking about it, because I was like, Marty, congrats on what? And he doesn't respond. And I'm like,
typical Marty, man.
Don't do that to me, Marty.
That's awesome.
So I called him up, and he's like, hey, what's going on? I don't know if anyone knows Marty. That's a perfect impression.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one, actually.
Hey, what's going on?
That was even better.
What do you mean, congrats? I don't know what you're talking about, Marty. You work for the PDGA, so you know things. Okay, so what do you know? It's like, we'll just time will tell. I'm like, you're such a jerk. So I hung up the phone, and I'm sitting there for a little while, and then Paul Ulibarri calls, and he's like, what are you doing right now? It's like, I'm just kind of freaking out right now. What's going on? Like, and he's like, I just want you to know that you're the 2016 USDGC champion. And like, here's the deal. I freaked the frick out. I went nuts. Okay. I'm going to say that right now. I lost my freaking mind.
Love it.
But let me just tell you that I wanted to play that last round. I wanted to prove it in 4 rounds, and I was in a really good place mentally, and I had a lot of drive to prove myself that I could do it in 4 rounds. Was I a little bit nervous about it? Of course I was. I've never been in that position. I've never been the major leader at any given point. First round, second round, third round, anything.
Yeah.
So that was a unique position, but one of the things that I drew from was a debacle I had at the World Championships, second round. It was my first time on the lead card at the World Championships, and I built it up, and I was super nervous, and I shot like a 930 rated round, or maybe it's 960 or whatever it was. It was embarrassing, and it was heartbreaking at Worlds this year in Emporia, Jones East.
Oh,
and I just did things that I never do. I did some things well, but for the most part, it wasn't world class, and it was. I just posted a Facebook post afterwards, after the round, that just said "oops," and I had so many likes from that. Like, I had people sending me messages like, I understand what you're going through, and that post meant a lot to me. I just said "oops," like, that's all I said. Like, people were like having heart-to-heart conversations with me about my post. They said it was so perfect, it was eloquently written and everything. I'm like, I just said "oops," but so I wasn't as nervous as I felt like I should have been, because I'd been there before. I could draw from an experience that was a collapse, and I was so ready to prove that I was above that. And so I wanted to play that 4th round. I mean, your dreams of winning the USDGC, as far-fetched as they may be, they include that 4th round celebration where the fireworks are going off and everyone's surrounded around hole 18.
Yeah.
And that's what the dream is consisted of. It's not, oh yeah, 4th round canceled, you win.
Yeah.
So it was very unique. Obviously, never been happened before. It was very strange. And it was very weird. But I mean, I cried. I mean, I legitimately, I was so emotional that I was hugging Geisinger, and he was crying too because he realized he wasn't going to miss his flight. So,
He was just as happy.
and so it was. Actually, I'll show you guys. Like I don't know if you can see up there on my counter.
Oh, there it
Got
is.
my trophy
Yep.
and my World Tour globe here that I spin for 5 minutes a day.
Whoa.
That's awesome.
That's
That
sweet.
is
It's
dope.
the coolest trophy I've ever. I'll bring it closer. If it breaks, I
Don't
swear
break
to God.
I don't want to be responsible for that.
Blame Ian.
All right, so there it is. It is the coolest freaking
That's so
trophy
sweet.
Dude, that is
of all
money.
time. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that sits right here.
Is there any way a 900 rated AM can win one of those? I'm asking for a friend.
According to you, to UC, that trophy costs $2,000 to make. So that's a pretty serious trophy.
Damn.
Yeah, so that's a no joke piece of art. Yeah, so I mean, I don't even know what else to say about it. It was the most life changing event that has ever happened in my life to this point, and I can't really foresee, outside of marriage and having kids, anything that's going to affect me more in my life than that event and that week.
Yeah.
So it was incredible.
That's cool. So now that you won that, we can do USDGC champ versus chumps.
Ooh, yeah. Actually, as a matter of fact, I was watching that as you called earlier. And I was on the narrow strip hole.
Oh,
and with the
oh God. Oh no.
That was so great. You guys were terrible. You guys.
I gotta say though, like I didn't play that hole. So
No, you didn't.
I didn't play that hole.
I know you would have been smart and laid up.
I
But
definitely would have. Like I was so pissed at that last chump. I was like, what are you doing?
oh, I'm still in the middle. I'm still watching the hole. Actually, it's paused right now.
Oh, man.
When it's over, I'm going to complete that video.
Have you seen their second shots yet?
No, I just finished watching their second shots.
Oh, so we're up to the 8 OB strokes so far?
Don't ruin it. Don't tell me.
I won't tell you what
He's not
happens.
mad. Don't worry, guys. Ian's not mad.
Oh my God. So bitter, dude. I put in
Ian
work,
does have the
Jerm.
trophy
I
shot
put
all
in
the
work
time.
that round, dude.
I don't know what
Hose, man.
happens. No spoiler alert, but you guys were holding them down to that
Right?
point. So I'm excited to see what happens after that.
You see my chump flex line on 9, dude?
I did. Very impressive. And I also saw Paul's defensive putt, which
Yeah.
was pretty
That killed me so hard, man.
that was good stuff.
That's
Yep.
fun, man.
Yeah.
So we'll have to do that. But yeah, I figure like, the chumps, they only get their one shot at glory, so they don't really want to lay up,
It makes total sense. But here's the thing that the chumps need to realize in the future: if you play a hole like that, you are the hero if you do lay up.
Right? Yeah.
If you put it
You will be
inbounds.
glorified. You will be respected. And so there's more glory in that than going for a crazy shot and coming through.
Preach, Jerm.
Just something to think about.
Preach. You need to
I
come.
got you.
Yeah. We should do you and Sexton versus the chumps, man. That'd be pretty funny.
Oh, that would be awesome.
We could have do live commentary and play.
I'll do live commentary. That'd be great.
Oh,
Just
you're pretty amazing at commentary too. Now that I think about it, man.
I think that'd be so much fun. Like do one of those mic things that they do in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah. They give coach
Mic you guys up.
Oh, the wireless mic. Oh, and we could plug it into the XLR input. Germ. This guy has ideas. I love it, man. I love it. We'll have to figure that out for GCC. That'd be awesome, man.
Absolutely.
So we're headed out there.
Totally.
We're filming for Spin TV for GCC.
Oh, great! Yeah, that's a good combination.
Yeah.
I love what you guys do, and I love what Spin TV does,
Yeah.
even when they don't give me credit after USDGC. But
We'll have to give Jamie Thomas some crap for that one.
no, it wasn't his call. They did a great job with it. There's so many things that they have to cover with the logistics or the metrics. Excuse me.
Yeah.
No, there's so many things they got to do. They can't worry about every little player's egos. So I'll get over that one. I mean, honestly, it helped me. It helped give me motivation to kick ass throughout the event. So I'm actually happy they did that.
Cool, man. Awesome. I love it. All right. We got any more fun questions, Tone?
So somebody in the chat keeps telling us to tell Jerem that Cupcake says hi.
Cupcake says hi.
I don't know if you know who Cupcake is, but
Well, I mean, that seems very personal, and I feel bad if I say no. So
No, Cupcake's that the little.
Yeah, come on, you pretended you knew who I was.
You know who.
no, here's the
Do
deal.
it again.
Somebody will explain that to me, and I'll be like, "Oh yes,
It's
duh."
like-
But right now, it's not coming to me.
It's like Jason Curtis or Jacob Curtis. You know?
Jacob,
He caddies
yeah.
for Macbeth sometimes. He's like a 12-year-old blonde kid, right?
Jamie Curtis.
No.
Jacob.
Curtis.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, I
He's
do
on
know.
the
that.
Innova Junior team. I want to
Henry
say.
is talking to me through the door right now, and he says, "You know him." So
Yeah.
okay, no, I do. I remember Cupcake now. He is. Oh,
That
Is
was
he-
not a good O.
out in the Phoenix.
That was like the kid who like tripped you on the tee pad or something.
And we got these.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you a funny story. I'm pretty sure this is about Cupcake, and I'm pretty sure this is after the memorial's over.
Yes.
We're at. I don't know if you've ever been to Fountain Hills before. You know how expensive and rich and like proper it is. It's just in a beautiful area in Arizona, and it's where tons of older people go to retire. And so we're in this nice little pizza restaurant / bar, and there's a line of people waiting to get into the bathroom. So the door opens. Cupcake runs in through all in front of everyone, gets in the bathroom, shuts the door, and locks it. And Paul Ulibar is in the line, and he's like, "What the hell is this kid doing?" So he's knocking on the door. It's like, "Cupcake, get out of there! What are you doing?" And apparently, and I wasn't there. This is just what Paul told me. Cupcake says, "Thug life." And then he said, "I didn't choose this life. This life chose me." Like a 13-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And Ulibar is, of course, pissed off because he's like, "You're making us look like idiots," but then he's still shaking his head, laughing but pissed off at the same time. Like, "Oh, Cupcake, you know."
That kid's a ham, dude. He's a ham.
Oh, man. Yeah, he's a character.
He is.
He's
All right. I got a question from my buddy Bobby the Brewer. He says, brisket or pulled pork?
brisket.
Not bad.
Absolutely. Good Texas brisket.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. Fatty. Something that's like,
Yep.
I don't like that super stringy brisket. I want it to be slathered in Kansas City style sauce and charred, and yeah, brisket for sure. But pulled pork is coming around too. I feel like I'm kind of a traitor for North Carolina for not saying pulled pork.
Yeah.
But I didn't grow up on it. Like I didn't eat barbecue until I was an adult. And brisket's where it's at for me though. Oof, I love some brisket. Good question.
Yeah. Someone says, why are you so bad at fantasy football?
Next question.
Bananas or bacon? That's the easy one, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Bananas wrapped in bacon. Duh.
What discs do you want
Candy
your
bacon.
signature on?
Next question.
Mhm.
Orcs.
I've already hinted at orcs.
You guys heard him. He said orcs.
He said orcs.
I don't necessarily think that I can say right now.
Okay.
But I'm really excited to make it official, and I think that people are going to love it. It's going to be a hit. It's going to be a disc. It's a disc that I'm sure plenty of people have been waiting to
Just so
have.
you can speculate, is it a disc that's in your bag right now?
Of course.
It is in my bag, and,
Okay.
and a similar variety of it is at least.
Oh, now the chat's gonna go wild.
So
Would you rather
I'm sure
fight?
everyone's already going to spoil the surprise because I already winked and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say it officially, but it's a badass disc.
Awesome, man.
I'm pumped.
I like this one. Would you rather fight one big germ-sized Nico, or
No,
10,
this guy worded the question wrong.
or 10 Nico-sized big germs?
10. A big germ-sized Nico is a frightening thing.
Isn't it, dude? I am scared just thinking about that.
What a beautiful question. Okay. I think I could take a big germ-sized Nico, but there would be so much more glory fighting 10 Nico-sized big germs. I'm still my size, right?
Yeah, you're still
Yeah.
you're still
Yeah,
the
you're
big
you.
germ.
Yeah, no. If I was Nico's size, I'd be easy to beat. I'm not. I'm just kind of like silly putty when it comes to fighting.
Yeah.
I'd kick my ass for sure. I'd kick 10 of my asses for sure.
Nico's ripped, man. Have you seen?
Yeah, no. A Nico size me is frightening. I don't want to fight. He already has enough of like the Napoleon complex going
That's an
on.
NFL player, basically.
Like this, but if he's like this and he's my size, that's a freaking Goliath. I don't want to fight that guy.
I like this one a lot from Marsh Clements. What is your worst shot you have ever thrown, competitive or casual?
I was the VTI. This is the one that comes to mind. VTI is the Virginia Team Invitational. It's a non-sanctioned team tournament at one of my favorite private courses, Hawk Hollow in Spotsylvania, Virginia. And they have it's at a cow pasture, or cow farm.
Mhm.
And there's a creek that winds through the course. And there's this difficult par 4. And the guy that I'm playing in match play has already thrown 2 good shots. And my drive hit a tree on the creek bed and kicked me out of bounds. I'm looking at like 370, and I have uphill, and I've got to stand with my back to the basket and throw the patent pending shot. And I'm in a very uncomfortable position because I'm on the steep angle of the creek, and I'm facing the target, and I have a tree close to me too, so I've got to kind of like I gotta go like this and somehow get 370 feet with my back turned to the basket. I may as well have just picked up and just said you win from there, but instead I decided to do something much cooler, which was throw the disc. I remember I had to stop here. I had to stop short, and I went pew. And what ended up happening is that I started laughing hysterically because I was looking forward and the disc was nowhere in picture. I had no idea where I was. Around, and the disc went behind the tee pad, which was 100 feet away, straight back into the creek, but backwards. And so I don't think I ever got that disc back either. Like it was a tremendously bad. It was like if What the Fuck Richard was like even later, you know, like if he was about twice as late. That was basically.
That's great.
Yeah. I can't think of anything worse than that.
It's
Other than knocking some short putts, but what?
It's hard to top that.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
That's a bad one.
I love it, dude. Shout out to my buddy Darren. WTF Richard did so hard today, he threw it behind him on the tee pad.
I see. I've never done it. It's the only time I've ever thrown it backwards ever. So it was very enjoyable to be in that moment. Yeah. It's great when it's match play because it's like, okay, you lost a hole, you didn't lose. You know, you didn't go from first place to 5th place. You know, it's just done.
I was laughing pretty hard at 6 o'clock in the morning this morning watching that. Will you still play mixed doubles with Paige?
Yes, of course. As much as she says we're not going to, she's just talking trash, and she's trying to rub in the fact that she beat me at fantasy football. Our relationship will never be the same because she smoked me so bad. In all actuality, I made coaching mistakes that cost me the title, and my head is forever shamed for that. And it took me a couple of weeks to get over it, and I'm close to being over it. So, but no, Paige and I can't see us not being partners for a long time. If we're both in the game, I want her to be my partner, and we have such a great time playing together that I think we have a good shot at winning. 3, 4, maybe even 5 if we keep that chemistry up.
Yeah, man. Isn't it the worst when you play the wrong players in fantasy football? Like, I don't mind getting smoked, but when I put in the wrong players,
I don't want to talk. Just goes off.
I don't want to talk about it, man. I've been playing fantasy for 8 years, and I've had no less than 3 leagues a year. And I've made the playoffs in probably 95% of my leagues. And I have not won a league. I've never been the champion at the end of the season. And that's making the playoffs every year. And it's always due to coaching mistakes.
You got to play with worse people, dude.
Yeah.
Dude,
Get one cupcake league in there.
I want to play with worse people, but the amount of trash that I talk throughout the season really keeps people motivated and interested. And so they'll do research. You're like, I just can't take this anymore. So it's like, if you really want to know the big true germ, the true big germ, or whatever words you want to put there, join a fantasy football league that I'm in. You'll be like, oh, I didn't know that was the way you felt about it.
Dude, I'm starting up a league next year, dude. An auction league, super flex.
Yeah.
I'll invite you in, dude. It'll be fun.
Man, I'm always looking for fun leagues, and
Nice.
that's not to say I want like 40 invites. I want to keep it at 2 to 3 leagues that I really truly care about.
Yeah.
I hate having to second guess, like, oh yes, Ezekiel Elliott. Oh wait, shit, Ezekiel Elliott. I hate going against and pulling for it at the same time. But you can kind of avoid that a little bit if you have 3 leagues. When you start getting into 4 and 5, it just gets confusing and
It's too much.
Yeah, I played in
It's too
6 this year. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and you're increasing your chances for winning one of them.
Yeah.
But I don't have to worry about that since I'm never going to win one of them.
I gotta give a shout out to my wife real quick. She played in 2 leagues this year. Won both of them.
Dang.
She brought home
You should
$600, man.
Probably
It was
like
dope.
marry her or
First
something.
off, congratulations, but also I hate you so much.
It was
It's
amazing,
such a sore
man.
topic for me, man. I don't know why it means so much to me, but like I legitimately put like 4 months of my
I
life
know,
on hold.
man. Oh,
And at least 3 days a week for 4 straight months, and it has been futile every year for 8 years.
dude, I feel you, man. I get super invested in that shit too, man. Like, I love me some fantasy football.
Mm.
Okay.
Who are your favorite opponents to play with?
I love playing with Sexton. I love playing with Ulibarri. I love playing with Macbeth. Macbeth, he gets pissed, but he does it in a way that's like, you never like, that's distracting. And he's also, he's a professional. I like playing with anyone that can keep in perspective the importance of the serious side, but at the same time aren't too caught up in themselves that they can't appreciate a good moment. Nate Doss is another great player to play with because we always have a great time. We give each other a lot of crap, but like we really love each other. So there's always a mutual respect amongst most of us. I love playing with Dustin Keegan. He really, again, he's just a stand-up guy. Chris Dickerson, Zach Melton. There's just so many names. I feel like I'm leaving out 20 names that are like great players that I love to play with.
You know what's easier? Just list the people that you hate.
There you go.
We'll
go with that
Yeah, just go with that. It's a shorter list, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Don't do
I'll
that.
get onto that one. We'll do that one the next time.
There we
Do that
go.
one.
Good call. All right.
Yeah,
Chipotle
All right, wait, I
and
gotta-
Qdoba.
I got one real quick.
Okay.
Because I
What's
feel like this has to, if it's a thing, this has to lead to a good story.
Okay.
Why can't you ride a bike?
Oh yeah, what's that one?
Okay, first off, screw you, dude. I can ride a bike. All right.
Oh my god, I remember this from Nantucket.
Yeah. Okay. Listen here. I can ride a bike. I just. Did you just dab on us, Ian?
I just called it. It looked like a dab, didn't it?
Yeah. So I think part of it is that I'm not extreme at all. I'm like as extreme as like a biscuit. Like I'm just not.
What?
Like I don't know. It just comes in my head. All right.
I love it.
I just don't like things that aren't shoes or cleats under my feet. Skateboards, no thank you. Wakeboards, can't do it. Bikes, specifically bikes in Nantucket, it's a
Can we
difficult.
make this like a video series?
You
Just
can do
like
whatever you
you're
want.
on wheels, like get you on rollerblades, stumbling around.
I conquered that uncomfortability, and I made bikes my bitch at Nantucket. I certainly was uncomfortable because I had amassed maybe a total of 10 miles in my life leading up to Nantucket on a bike. And I would say it's actually less than that. I learned how to ride a tricycle when I was a kid, but by the time I was old enough to have a bike without tricycles, I moved to a neighborhood in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, that had gravel driveways, and I was kind of scared of riding a bike in gravel. I didn't really think about mountain biking. I just, for whatever reason, I thought that you needed like concrete roads to ride bikes on. And all my friends, there was a bunch of kids in the neighborhood, and I never needed to go far. I either had my mom drive me to soccer practice, or the bus to take me to school, or the kids were in the neighborhood. Or I would just walk a really long way. And so I don't know. I just never found a love for riding bikes. And, you know, by the time I needed one, as like when I was in high school, I guess I was kind of scared about riding a bike in the big city of Charlotte. And I didn't trust myself to ride around cars. And, you know, it could have been useful then because I lived kind of a little bit further away from my friends and I didn't have a car. And so if I wanted to hang out, they had to come pick me up. So it was kind of an inconvenience.
Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't need that in my life. I don't know. I'm big and clumsy. Like, I'm athletic when it comes to anything regarding shoes. Outside of shoes, I am clumsy, dude. So, when I was talking to the tournament director about the event, kind of a funny story. I called Todd Rainwater. I didn't know I was going to go play the event. And the last second, I was like, oh, sweet. I'm going to go play the event. I'm going to call him up and see if he has room. So I called him up. I'm like, hey, Todd, it's Jeremy Koling. And I want to play your event. I was just wanted to see if you had room. And he's like, oh, yeah, hold on a second. And I was like, okay. And he was like, amateur or pro? And I was like, no. I was like, oh, gosh. My perspective was that all my friends were telling me about how awesome of an event this was and how he really catered to the pros and did a great job giving you a place to stay. And he'd hook you up with food. And I was like, all right, well, this is awkward now. I was like, I play pro, and he's like, okay, yeah, there's still some spots left. I can definitely save you a spot. I'm like, okay, great, yeah. Well, what about lodging? He's like, well, hold on a second. I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, it looks like we have we have one room left in the hostel, and you can always camp on the course. And I was like, all right, that sounds good too, I guess. And I was like getting less and less convinced that this was a good idea. And I was like, so I'm gonna throw out one more hint. And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to that tournament next weekend. I'm going to Vermont for the NT. And he's like, oh yeah, cool. So you're a touring pro. And I'm like, or no, he said you tour around a little bit. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a touring pro. He's like, oh cool, what's your name? I said, Jeremy Koling. And he's like, oh, dude, I'm so sorry, man. I was like, thank God. Oh, it was like, and he's like, dude, you were so humble about that, man. Like, a lot of respect. And I was like, no worries. I didn't know if you like paid attention to the tour or not. And like, not that you should, but like, yeah, I mean, I was really hoping that, you know, I could stay in one of those houses. And he's like, oh yeah, dude. So you can stay in the house. We got bikes for you. And like, he's got bikes. And I was like, red flag, red flag. No. I was like, yeah, I don't have to worry about the bikes. I'll just drive around. And I guess at the time I didn't really factor in that Nantucket's an island. And it costs $200 each way to bring your car onto the island on the ferry. Yeah. And so when I found that out, I was like, F that. So got on the island. And then, you know, we were pretty lucky that the course was it was about a mile, maybe less from where we were staying. So the bike rides there were like, that was pretty easy. But then when we wanted to go eat, you know, we had a couple of bike rides that were upwards of like 6-7 miles. And like, you know, that first day that I was on the bike, oh my gosh, it was brutal. Ulibarri couldn't get enough of it. Probably got 30 minutes of footage on his phone of just him just crying tears. I'm sure the tears are dropping into the picture as he's just holding his phone up and there's tears are just going everywhere. And he wasn't making anything any easier on me, not giving me any tips or advice. And the thing is, the bikes were too low for me. Like I kept like putting the seat all the way up. Yeah. But then like I weigh 230. I thought that these things would like be able to hold that weight, but the seat just like slowly declines. So they like super up high and like and so I just look like a complete goon. And
why is this footage not public?
I know, man.
I may or may not have destroyed it.
We need to see that.
Did you have like Paige behind you holding the seat and then she like let go without telling you?
I've got so much crap from that weekend because of like I knew that when I made the post about like, hey, oh my gosh, my butt's so sore from riding the bike, like that was crazy. I knew that people were gonna be like, wait a second, this dude's never rode a bike before, like. And so every day of the tournament, I didn't hear anything. Well, it was only one day, but like every time I was at the course or did anything around other disc golfers, I was just having fingers point at me. It was like every third grader's like elementary school nightmare. Like everyone pointing fingers and laughing at your insecurities. Like in a dream where you show up at school naked. That was pretty much what it was. 3 days.
You're a trooper, man. You're a trooper. I love it.
Yeah, I came out of there with more character. So you know, who won? I think I won.
Awesome.
Oh, you always win, man. You always win.
Unless it's fantasy football.
Right, Mike, but you did get Let's Go Green from the Raz Round, so.
Let's Go Green is something. I hope that sticks around for years. That's a good one.
That was legendary.
Yeah, me and Sam Henderson have got a tight bond for life because of that.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Any more good questions? We gotta start wrapping it up. It's my kid's
I
time.
got, yeah. So we asked Yuli, Will, and Paul. And I don't remember if we did Philo or not. But in like perfect conditions, wide open field, no wind, nothing like that. What's the farthest hole that you feel confident you could birdie? Like a par 3.
I could get something that's like 630 probably. No
Like
wind.
consistently?
Not consistently. No one can consistently do that. I feel like Macbeth is probably the best in the world at long distance consistency.
Yeah.
He could maybe get 600, you know, a whole 600 feet, maybe four times, maybe 5 times out of 10.
Yeah, I think, if I remember right, I think Yuli said 450. I think Paul said 500, and I think we talked Will into saying 501.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're talking
502,
are you saying consistent? If you're saying consistent,
yeah.
I feel like
you could walk up to the tee and be like, "I'm gonna do this right now."
Do it. Okay, if it's a majority of times, I would say I'll up them. I'll say 525. I feel like I've got a hyzer flip distance at that range where I'm throwing mostly hyzer, a little bit of stand up, but I could probably get that distance. And I'm going to assume that 6 out of 10, that's a majority. I'm going to say that that's good enough. I could get 6 out of 10 at 525. I feel like.
Nice.
We got to hit you with a hot dog question, dude. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
One question.
Dang it!
Is a hot dog a sandwich? Question.
Don't make me leave this call right now.
Oh, okay. A hot dog is not a sandwich. A sandwich consists of 2 pieces of bread. It's a novel snack that, you know, it is a stuffing, but so is a calzone. I mean, is a calzone a sandwich?
No,
a calzone's closed.
A calzone's closed. Well, I mean, have you ever seen a hot dog that was a corn dog? You know, I mean, corn dogs or hot dogs are very similar. And I don't know. I just can't.
The answer is no, and it's
I rushed to that conclusion, and I'm thinking about, like, you can dress it up like a sandwich, but it's not a sandwich.
But if you take the hot dog out of the bun, it's still a hot dog. If you disassemble a sandwich, it's no longer still a sandwich. This isn't a debate. It's a stupid question that they ask everyone to make me mad, and it still works.
Okay, so here I'm going to end this debate. If you well, it is a debate because we're debating it.
Yep.
Don't make me hate you.
Listen, if you put butter on a slice of bread, and you toast it up and you put butter on top of it, and you put another piece of toast on top of it, right? That's a butter sandwich, right? That works. Now, if you butter the inside of a hot dog bun because you're a freaking weirdo, when you take that hot dog out of it, you're not eating a hot dog or a sandwich. You're eating a hot dog bun.
Yep.
That's not a sandwich.
Not a sandwich.
Thank you.
I think butter ends the argument.
I don't care what it ends it, as long as it's over. Everyone says no.
I love the question.
Maria.
I hope that you never stop asking that question.
No.
It's for my friend Maria. She hosted us for 2015 Worlds out in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I hope that Anthony continues to get pissed off about this.
Yeah,
I will.
He gets fiery about it, man, like real fiery.
There's people out there that are going to say yes, and they're wrong, and they just need to understand that.
Oh, fucking love
it's I'd agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong.
Yep. Exactly, yeah. Jerm, this has been super amazing, man. I always love talking to you. Love filming you. Love hanging out with you, man. Dude.
Oh man, my pleasure's all over here, man. I had a great time.
Cool, man. And we'll see you at GCC. Let's do some USDGC champs versus chumps, dude.
I'm on board, man. You've got my participation. I'm telling you right now, I want to do it. So let's find some chumps out there. I can think of many chumps out in Vegas. So we can you recruit your own crew, or I can name some. That would
He's got a list.
Dude, rustle us up some chumps, man. Rustle some chumps.
We can find some chumps in Vegas. I know many chumps out there.
Nice.
That's where chumps go to live.
It is kind of.
Whoa.
They grow chumps.
I love you, Vegas. I love you. I just don't want to stay in your city limits for more than 4 days at a time.
Yeah, that's so true. All right, Joe, we'll let you go. Thank you so much for your time, buddy, and we'll see you soon, man.
Have a good one.
All
See you
right,
later.
Later. All right, dudes, that was fun.
That was a good one.
How cool is Jeremy, man? Like,
The coolest.
he's just
He's all right.
Always love talking to that guy.
We just got to get him on and just let him talk. I think that's like the most viewers possible.
Dude, we were at 400 at one point.
I know, man. That's pretty crazy.
I haven't even seen Smashbox hit that.
No,
Aside from like tournaments, but
that's because the Coasties are the best.
that's
Can we not do that?
yeah.
No, we're never saying that.
I'm gonna smash that idea.
I
if
just
that's okay.
I thought of that a long time ago, and it was so cringy. I had to say it one time.
Yeah, once is good enough.
Yeah, we're done with that. Forever.
We all heard it. Let's move on.
All right, we love you all. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're gonna wrap it up, but we'll catch you guys in the next podcast. I think we're gonna try and do it more regularly this year. So,
By the way, pretty sure we're just gonna get Eagle for the next episode.
yeah, we
The
gotta have
chat
Eagle
kept
back
suggesting it,
so he doesn't
so
hate us.
I'm gonna talk to him after this, and we'll see what happens.
Awesome, cool guys. Everybody, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.